Welcome back to Tales of Truja, Campaign 2, Treasure of the Lost, Episode 1, 3, right, Beasil?
That's right.
Okay. All right, perfect. Beasil, take it away. Let's get that recap.
Last time on Tales of Truja, Treasure of the Lost, Beasil snuck into town, convinced people that he was cow wife, contracted vitiligo and vertigo,
True. Not
and was
alopecia.
persuaded, not alopecia, and was persuaded by a new friend.
Very nice. Thank you, Beasil. It's true. Yeah, you guys made your way into the town of Oasis, the border town between Arthoria and the Fire Plains. You had a little bit of a run-in with Captain Thandulin, not Thandolin, for those who are confused. Um, you made your way to um, the local tavern. You met a very nice southern gentleman Terraman elf who allowed you to take a bath, which could be kind of creepy. I don't know if there's like some holes in the walls for eyes, but who knows? What's done is done. And you guys robbed everybody in the tavern, which is pretty sweet. And then you decided to get an opportunity to make some more money, and a very large Dawnman, in both ways. He's a husky fella and tall.
Potentially in three ways. We don't know that yet.
That's true. That's true. Uh, Nicknamed, I imagine, Big Time, is leading you down an alley to get some more money. And we'll pick
One
up from
quick
there.
note.
Yes,
One
sir.
quick note. I would like to note that Beasil was in fact the only one to take a bath because he made the water way too hot.
Is that canon?
I don't know if that's canon. I think he got in afterwards. Beasil, back off.
I think I'll have to go back and review that, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, you
dear.
stink.
Well, that's a given, though. You do stink. I'm sorry, Gus.
So we're kind of walking still towards
Yeah,
the
so
objective. Right?
you're still weaving in and out of different alleys, taking some side streets, and you do make your way
Is
to.
it messy, or is it like a pretty neat like town oasis? Like, is it like dirty alleys, people dumping their?
I mean, you are thinking about like essentially like a medieval time. Yeah, they're throwing their waste out there, but for the most part, it's clean in comparison to other towns. Um, what you have is um, kind of a mixture between wealthy and impoverished areas. Overall, not too shabby. Um, but you do make your way to the outskirts of town,
Okay.
towards what looks to be a very large farm. In the center, or kind of leading up to it from the road, is a large colonial style house with big stone pillars. One side of the field is hay, and the other side of the field is miles and miles, or for farmers out there, acres and acres of thousands of cattle.
Wow, Big Time. This plantation here has its own particular smell.
It smells like them beautiful cows, like Esther.
Why are we
She is
here?
beautiful.
You said you wanted to make money, and I'm taking you to a place where you can make money.
Am I still in Gus's arms?
I think you are. I think you're nestled on in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay there.
My beard is like a quilt. Like a
Yeah, it's
little quilt.
warm. You're warming him up. So you continue. The house is lit up. There are small houses, and there's barns sporadically laid out. I mean, it's definitely whoever lives here is very, very wealthy. And Big Time, he takes you to the side of this big estate, on the side of the house, and leads you down into the cellar. You can see that there's lights in between the plank boards as he lifts it up and says, "Come on, and do you want to follow him down?
Can we look around just real quick?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So like, because we're inside like the bottom floor, right?
No. So he's saying like, come on, follow me down into the cellar.
So it's outside, like an outside cellar.
You're outside, right, facing the house with a cellar going down into the basement of this home.
Yeah,
I got an 18 for perception to look
Okay.
around.
Yeah, go ahead then.
Yeah.
If you want to do investigation, it'll be different.
Okay, I'll do investigation.
Investigation or perception?
Oh my god. Let's do it. That's
I didn't actually.
20.
It wasn't
First
that
time,
20.
first time.
Okay. And what'd you get, Cole?
I got an 18. If we do investigation, I got a 21.
Okay, so, well, I mean, it's kind of redundant at this point to have a 21 because he's got a 20. But you perceive and you look around, it looks like a normal farm. Not that you would really know that, Beasil, but it looks like to you what would be heaven. I mean, all of your suspicions would be instantly washed away from the great smell of the thousands of cows that are littered amongst what really to you is probably the heavens. You probably think you're dead, given the vertigo. And then Evan, you look around, Gus looks around, and I mean, nothing really seems amiss. I think he
Just looks like a normal farm.
just
big
looks like
farmhouse.
it's a normal farm. Yeah, you're just going down into a basement of a farm. This is the quickest way to get in.
Come, Beasil. Perhaps there's warm milk inside.
But there's milk out here.
Fresh from the teat, my boy. Fresh from the teat.
It doesn't get fresher from the teat than out there.
And Big Time goes, "There's milk down there if you just come on." And he starts to go down.
Let's go, my boy. It can't be too rough.
I mean, yeah, you are carrying him like a baby, so I don't think he has too much of an option.
Is there light? Is it lit?
Yeah. So I told you could see light coming through the planks as you opened it. It's dim from the outside, and as he opens it, you get a little bit more light. You walk down, following him into what is kind of like a foyer or like a small hallway that leads to an open door frame, a doorless door frame. I don't know how you want to say it. Leading into a room that is well lit, and he says, "Wait here, I'll come and get you. Don't make a noise." And he disappears through the doorway, and you can hear chatting and talking from multiple people.
I take it Esther is outside.
Yeah.
And did not follow us down the planks of the cellar.
You are correct. For the second time asking that question, yes, she does not go into bars generally, and no, she has not gone down in the cellar.
All right. Okay. So we're just waiting for him?
So yeah, you can just hear talking. I mean, if you want to, do what you want to do.
I would like to kind of try to, cone my ear and conduct seals real quick and just kind of see if
you wouldn't have to do that.
Anything.
You wouldn't have to do that. It's just an open doorway. If you walked close, you would most likely be able to hear. Yeah.
Can I
so there's like walls on each side. Mm-hmm.
Kind of creep up to it and just kind of try to listen and so like kind of whisper to Beasil. My boy, use them glorious ears you've got and see if we can't hear what's going on the other side of this wall.
So you creep down. You both.
Oh, that's actually a good idea because he's much smaller than me. It'd probably be better to like let him go down and go over there, right?
So you're already down the stairs. You're in this foyer hallway that's leading into this well-lit room that he told you to wait in this kind of like foyer area. Okay. So are you both walking up?
I'm just gonna.
No. Beasil is gonna start looking for the milk that was promised.
Oh, okay, great.
Beasil, I can let you know real quick. You don't even have to roll for it. This is just an empty hallway. I mean, you're in like a 5x6 room that's leading to this next doorway.
Okay, well that would be very confusing, and Beasil's still trying to look everywhere he can for milk. Doesn't matter if there's a roll. He's just rummaging.
Okay. You rummage to nothing. I mean, it's just like stone walls, stone floor, wooden beams above you where the house is. You're in the foundation. Gus, you walk up to the doorway to try to listen.
Do I need to roll for like being quiet or anything like of that nature?
No.
Okay. So just
I'll
kind of lean in.
I'll let you just kind of walk up and lean.
All right.
And
So
you, huh?
I was gonna say, yeah, let's do that. My bad.
Okay. So you hear Big Time go, brother, I've got an idea for our predicament. And then you hear Captain Thandalin in these hushed tones, but you can tell he's aggravated. What do you want, Big Time? This isn't time to play games. We've got a mission to do. But brother, I've got a good answer for our problems. And with that, you hear a loud smack as Captain Thandalin, you presume, smacks Big Time.
Mm.
You never have any good ideas, Big Time. You need to mind your business and just get ready for the job at hand. And in that moment, Cole, can you roll? Oh gosh, my mind is blanking on me. Stealth. Can you roll stealth for me?
15.
15. So you're looking around for milk, obviously not finding anything. You're kind of scraping your claws against the stone, trying to like dig up, like maybe there's a false floor, and all the scratching pulls the attention, and you hear Captain Thandalin go, "What is that?" "It's nothing, brother. I swear, it's nothing." And he kind of pushes Big Time aside and says, "Shut your mouth, Big Time," and shoves him over.
Dang.
Yeah, not a good brother. Which, if you want some context, if you recall, wow, Evan, you are so pale with that background.
Am I really?
You're like a ghost white. Um, he, if
I'm
you
Gus the White.
if you
Sorry. Couldn't resist.
if you recall this last time, he said he's always wanted a brother and a father and a mother. So it might not be great relationship, as you can see from getting abused from his brother. So Captain Thandulin walks in and sees both of you. "What are you doing in here?" And he draws his sword.
Oh, hell no.
What will you do? I didn't say roll for initiative, so it may not
I
be
mean,
combat yet.
I was gonna say like, there's, oh gosh, dang, I don't know. I'm tempted to do something stupid, but I don't know.
Beasil walks directly up to him and says, "I'll have my milk now, please."
Aw.
As he puts both clawed hands out.
I knew I saw something in that saddlebag. Back up, you creature of the night.
Hey, don't refer to him as a creature of the night.
Shut up, you drunkard.
Hey, don't tell him to shut up. His name's not Drunkard.
Yeah, that's right.
Thandulin, wow, that is tough. Thandulin, he cocks back.
No.
No?
I would like a chance to. I've got a small hammer. Can that be thrown?
Not yet, it can't. Thandulin cocks his hand back and smacks Gus across the face. Let's see. Does a 17 hit?
Yeah.
So he smacks you, reeling you across into the wall for 7 damage.
I'm pissed.
And then you just hear this loud kind of run stomping. It really feels like an earthquake, with Big Time running past, saying, brother, no, they're good people. And he kind of gets on his knees in front of his brother, Captain Thandulin, and says, brother, stop. I have an idea for them. And Captain Thandulin, he sheathes his sword and tells his brother like he only has a couple seconds to try to convince him. And Big Time says, you know that job we've got coming up, brother? They could do the job. they won't know it was us if they do it. They're new to town. And we can pay them handsomely.
Yeah,
And
at this point,
Yeah.
Beasel's going to use the sneak attack feat to throw the hilt of his dagger into the face of the older brother and attempt to knock him out.
Yep. Good deal.
okay,
Support
roll
this
for me.
decision.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Woo!
Alrighty. So
Do you need my damage?
no. What kind of sword? Or you said it's a dagger
Yeah.
or like a knife for his
It's
size?
it's actually a short sword.
He carries a short sword.
Yeah.
Dang, how big is a short sword? It's like twice his body. It's a great sword for him. Yeah. Here's my thing though. With his size, I don't know if I could just let him throw that with just like without a disadvantage, just because of its weight. I mean, if it's a short sword.
If it's a short sword to him, it could just be a dagger.
Okay. Yeah, so you throw the dagger and it hits him and it makes him stumble to the ground, and Big Time grabs you by your clothing and lifts you up real close to him. Other brother, that's really stupid of you. And then about 10 other Dawn men walk through the doorway and seize both of you, um, tying you up and carrying you into this well-lit room and sitting you down as they're like, wake up, Captain, smacking the captain around. Um, why don't you roll to view the room and see what you can see?
Investigation?
Yeah.
12.
12. All right, Gus.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted me to or not. That's a 16.
16. Okay. So Beazle looks around and he sees a lot of words that he doesn't understand.
I'm sorry, that's a 15. My bad.
Okay. Beazle looks around and he doesn't really understand everything. He does see that like whoever's put stuff up in this room is clearly very obsessed with something similar to your obsession with milk. Gus, you look around and you can read the notes. You see this kind of ratty red and gold flag with a crown on it.
So we're tied up, and they're
You're
tied us up, right?
you're tied up and bound, um, just sitting there on the ground,
I would
looking
like to
around.
I would like to request, why in the fires of the forge are we being treated this way?
Big Time walks in and crouches next to you and says, you attacked my brother. He owns this estate and he's the most powerful soldier in town. Really stupid of you to try to attack him. I'm trying to get you that job now.
He got what he deserved.
He struck me first.
Well, in his defense, you are kind of annoying, unlike your son here. In the background, you can hear Captain Thandulin start to rise in the other room. He gets up and he walks in, and he crouches very close to Beazle, um, and says, "You've got balls, little lizard, but please do not do that again, or I'll kill you." Um,
I'd like to
and
see you try.
I can arrange that, but because of my stupid brother, we're gonna have to give you a job, and this time you're not gonna get a payment. Your payment's gonna be your lives. And if you don't do it, I'm gonna kill. And a thought dawns on him. He looks up. He thinks back to that cow you came to town with. He looks back down at you and says, I'm gonna kill your cow.
You
Right,
wouldn't.
I would. I would. And Big Time rushes in and says, Not a cow, brother. We love cows. And Captain Van Doolen says, "Shut up, brother. We're gonna do what we've got to do to get the job done." Beasil, I would like you to attempt to persuade Captain Van Doolen, but I want to hear what you've got to say first, and depending on that, I will give you advantage or disadvantage.
Persuade him for what? To let us go?
To not hurt Esther. I don't think you're going to be able to persuade him enough to, it's not magic, but just try to persuade him to see the reason and not trying to hurt Esther.
Captain Thandolin.
Van Doolen.
I
What
have
is
a
it?
particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare. I don't like you. If you hurt Esther, I will find you. I will kill you. If you let Esther go now, we can be done with this.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
I like your gumption, but I'm not going to let it go. He snaps his fingers, and two of the Dawnmen disappear, presumably up the stairs and out of the cellar to get Esther. Big Time walks over and says, "We're going to give you a job, and if you do it right, I swear upon my life, Esther's going to be fine." And Captain Thandolin leans in even closer to Beasil, really an uncomfortable distance away, very much nose to nose. And he says, "I'm Captain Thandolin Crestfield. I'm one of the last remnants in this region of a certain organization that you may or may not know. And it's my job to purge this whole country of the supposed king, the true usurper. There's only one king, and it's not the one on the throne."
Can I respond?
Yeah.
And I am Beasil, the Dragon Sage. And I would like to cast Deviant Shadows on my own shadow, which allows me to take control of my shadow. And it interacts with the world around it, and it's just going to poke him in the eyes real quick.
Does this shadow have the ability to stretch past what it is, or does it just cover the same surface area of what it is?
Well, it says if the shadow passes more than 2 walls or 40 feet from the caster, the spell ends.
But, like, what's my size? What am I going off of here? We talking like a Shikamaru thing, like he can stretch it out, or?
Yes.
Okay, so you go to do that, and why don't... I'm going to make you roll for that.
Well, I would like it to be a sneak attack, because he is within 5 feet of me, and I am a rogue.
Okay, yeah, I'm still going to have you roll for it.
Let me find... Plus Dex?
Yeah.
That's going to be 14.
14. Okay, so you cast... What's it called again?
Deviant Shadows.
Deviant Shadows, and you poke him right in the eyes. And he closes his eyes and puts his hands up, kind of rubs him a little bit, and says, "Cut off the cow's tail."
If you do that, I'll do far worse.
So they walk up, and they chop off Esther's tail. You hear a heinous
Oh
mooing in the background. They bring it back down, and he says, "I'm not kidding. I'm gonna kill that cow if you two don't listen. And he drops the cow tail, not the delicious candy, right in front of Beasil.
What are the
So-
chances?
He stands up. He stands up. He stands up. The rest of the Dawn men come back in, aside from the two that are with Esther. And Captain Thandulin says, "Do you want to hear the job or not?"
My shadow at seeing the tail fall off, because it's still under my control, is just like this, like a surprise Beasil shadow. It's conveying the emotions that I'm not.
Can kobolds cry? That's if there's a song that we need, it's about whether or not kobolds can cry. Do they have tear ducts?
What I should have done when he got close to me was the fire breath attack. Is really what I should have done. But
What are the chances of being able to break these binds?
Why don't you roll strength for me?
That's a 16.
So you nudge and you get loose. They kind of shuffle off. Whoever tied you didn't do too good of a job, and then they push you back down because there's about 10 Dawnmen in there, and they retie you up.
I just wanted to do it for the sake of.
Spit in their faces. Give me a dexterity roll for trying to spit in 3 of their faces with 1 loogie. See if it's
Hell
possible.
Yes. 13.
13. So you spit just one thing. You hit one of them in the face, and you get him. You know he's about to yell at you. You get him right in the mouth. And
Awesome. I thought that would just kind of help the scene a little bit.
He gags and he kind of goes in the corner. And Captain Thandulin.
If you harm my boy or my cow again, we won't be alive to do this damn job for you.
You're right. I'll kill you. He says, before we get any more heightened with this, why don't you just listen to the job first? I was willing to pay you, then this dumb little lizard thing threw a knife at me, and we've kind of escalated up to this tail. Okay? Let's all calm down,
Have you considered the fact
take a
that we might
breath.
have done the job if you didn't act like a complete arsehole?
Well, I don't know who the asshole is. If I walked into a room with 2 strangers in there that shouldn't be in my home, who really is the ones at fault here? The 2 trespassers. Did my brother tell you?
We were invited.
By who? This idiot?
Yes, that idiot.
And you just see
I
Big
could
Time
kill you
put his
all.
head down, frowning. Thandulin says, my job for you is I need you to kill the newly appointed mayor of Oasis. Are you okay with doing that?
Beasil's fate is his own. He will not kill for you.
Well then, you'll be killing Esther. So, which one is it gonna be? Esther or a stranger?
How about you? You're a stranger.
Not anymore. You knew me first in this whole town. If anything, we're the closest.
We're not
You're
friends.
presuming that we know anything.
I'm not presuming anything.
Do I look like a guy that knows things?
Actually, yes.
All he does is drink and know things.
I saw your dictionary over there on the ground when you dropped it.
That's not a dictionary.
What is it? Brilliant ideas I had, well, poop. If that's not a dictionary, I don't know what is.
That's our songbook, you fool.
Do you sing a lot about
the
poop?
The most classic one in the book.
Evan, why don't you just sing a very short jingle? No, you don't have your guitar because you're tied up. But just sing me sing me a little bit about poop.
Whilst I was dropping fodder today, the most brilliant idea came my way. If I could undo her bra and her purse with the other, then Beasil shall suck upon a perfect udder. The udder doth flow with the streams of milky white.
You get abruptly interrupted with a sock being put in your mouth by one of the Dawnmen, who just looks disgusted by the lyrics. And Captain Thandulin says, "You're right. You are good.
Can
This
I
fits
get
you
a chance
Beazles."
for one of the guardsmen to like it? Can I roll for a chance for just one of them to have liked that?
Hold on. You're gonna. Thandulin says, "You are a good band, but we can't hear that right now. Are you gonna take the job or not?" It's only Beasil can really respond at this point. Beasil, you did just see Esther's tail be brought down.
Yeah, and I'm leaning more towards kill than work for.
Beasil, why don't you roll a perception check for me with advantage?
Well, the first one's a 20.
Okay, perfect. No need.
I
Beasil, you realize. Sorry, Evan, you're gagged.
No, you're good. I just have an idea too as well. But
Beasil, you'll die if you fight right now. There are far too many of them, and each and every one of them alone could kill you. It is probably now. Again, we'll have to dumb this down to what your brain can comprehend. And so, Captain Thandulin, he leans down and says, "What do you want most in this world, son?"
Milk.
Well, let me tell you, you'll never drink any milk for the rest of your days, because they're going to be real short unless you take this job. Esther will die, you will die, and there will be no more milk. And let me tell you, there's not going to be milk in the heavens.
Yes,
Beazel.
I was trying to scream something with my spout, my gag.
I really liked it. I think it was pretty effective. The guards pull your gag out because apparently Beazel is flabbergasted by the idea of whether or not he will get milk ever again.
We'll take the job, but first, before we hear the plan, let's get these other men that I don't know out of the room.
No.
If I'm going to engage in criminal behavior, I refuse to do so with so many witnesses here.
Yeah, absolutely not. They're staying here.
When he says get the other men out of the room, Beasel's shadow walks out of the room.
But it's still connected to you, right? Or does it separate?
Yeah. It just travels connected to me out of the room.
Love it. So yeah, Beasel's shadow just bloop, 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 leaving the room. The captain seems pretty firm on no one else leaving.
It's just generally not a good idea to hatch some kind of criminal plot with like 40 people standing around. You know what I mean?
I'm going to lean over to Gus. I know I can't actually say it in a whisper without anybody hearing, but Beasel's going to attempt, like not really attempt, but he's going to do it as if he can whisper to Gus without anybody hearing and go, "They're going to hurt Esther more."
Yeah, that's right. We're going to hurt Esther more. And all these people are on my payroll. They're all a part of this relic organization.
Wow, guards must make as much as UPS drivers.
Even less. All right, are you ready for the job?
Yes, let's hear the damn plan and be done with it.
Well, the king is trying to purify the nation and keep sending these delegates out to run how he sees fit. So he's appointed a young Dawnman named Sylvia Nossobor, and she is a pain in my butt. She's the new mayor, and I would like to dispose of her. Now, we were going to do it, but my dumb brother had one good idea, which is to get you two idiots to do it for us.
For free.
Well, it's for free, but Esther's going to live.
And we have no guarantee that you won't betray us after this is all said and done.
You don't, but we've got Esther, so you have no choice.
You must make one promise.
What's that?
Esther gets to range in the greenest part of your pasture.
Easy.
I'm in.
How about you, Gus?
I can't let my boy go it alone. I'm in.
All right then. Brother, come here. Let him up. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I did not know they were going to do that to Esther. He whispers at both of you as he unties you. Oh, he's good deep down. I promise. He's not a bad guy. And he leads both of you out
Before,
of.
I wanted to ask if I could do an action.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there anything that I noticed with that nat 20 that would tie this man, like anything small that I could just try to slide a hand real quick, pocket, and hold on to? That kind of would implicate like that he is, like it ties him to a scene specifically.
There are definitely some documents around that you saw walking in. Now, when you're walking in, there's a table to the right with documents on it.
Okay, and we're being led out past it, right?
Yeah, so you can try to sleight of hand it, but I need you to roll for that.
I want to try to sleight a hand, just something off the table that would kind of uniquely be his.
You're gonna grab for something and hope for the best.
Can I say something as we're being let out?
For sure.
You will always remember this as the day you almost caught Beasil the Dragon Sage.
And that was a 16 on sleight of hand.
Okay, yeah. So as you're walking by, you like stumble, like, oh, the brandy, and you hit the table, grabbing one of the documents and kind of crumpling it close to your chest as you walk out.
Oh, acting like I'm really still hurt from getting fucking slapped for no reason.
Yeah, or for invading someone's home. So he leads you out, Big Time leads you out through the cellar, and you see this small droplet trail of blood kind of going off to the backside of the home.
That's fine.
I'm not following that.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. Big Time, he goes, you guys will just have to kill her. You know, it's not that big a deal. Just close your eyes like I do, and just keep punching. Just keep punching until nothing's moving no more.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you gotta do. Okay?
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll meet up with you early tomorrow morning.
I believe in
Big
you.
Time,
Yeah, brother.
this friendship is over.
What?
I knew I shouldn't have trusted you.
I didn't do anything. I didn't know.
You put my boy and my wife in harm's way.
I tried to get you a job, but, you know, the dagger and the constant fighting, I didn't mean for that to happen to Esther.
Come, my boy. We're done with this treasonous fool.
Treason?
Traitorous fool.
The Arthurian Senate will decide your fate.
I am the Senate.
Been destroyed then. I must say you're here sooner than expected.
In the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic, you're under arrest, Chancellor.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
The Senate will decide your fate.
I am the Senate.
Not yet.
So you guys kind of walk off until...
And I would like to turn as I'm leaving and go, not yet.
Okay. So you walk off. You're kind of out of sight from any of the Dawn men.
Beasil, my boy, take a look at this. And I would like to pull that paper out and show it to Beasil.
Please be a lunch menu.
So it's actually a document that kind of it has the seal of the Kingsman. Neither of you really, or actually, why don't you give me a history check, Evan?
Okay.
Can I give a history check at disadvantage?
There is no possible way for you to know what it is, but you sure can.
Okay,
One.
I have a 15 on, or 14 with a +1. My bad.
You have 15?
Yeah, with 14 and a +1 on
It
history.
doesn't matter. So 15. That's perfect.
I would like Beasil to hear what he thinks it is first.
Okay. Beasil goes, "Oh my goodness, the cow brand." He kind of strokes the paper, thinking it's some kind of weird document about cows. And Gus is like, "No, no, Beasil. This is a relic of times past. A group of Arthurians, for the longest time in history, were trying to appoint a king. They were called the Kingsmen, but since the return of the true king, not affiliated to Lord of the Rings, um, not Return of the King, Return of the True King. It's an important distinction.
Are you saying that a day may come when the courage of cows fail?
Very well may. Since he was appointed, he's been rooting out the remnants of these Kingsmen, and that's probably about all you know, Gus, as you relay it to Beasil. Beasil doesn't really understand much of it because politics would be kind of a foreign concept.
Not to mention he can't read it.
This,
which is true.
My boy, is the burden of proof that we need.
Well, and in that document, it does talk about plans to expand the Kingmen out from Oasis to neighboring towns.
I have a plan, my boy.
What?
How we can avenge Esther, get our freedom, and potentially still get a reward.
Okay, but what about getting justice for Esther?
Exactly. So,
He said to get justice for Esther, but what about getting justice for Esther?
I have a plan.
Yeah?
I say we proceed as if we are going along with their plan, but I need your input on the last bit.
Okay.
Really, a lot of cliffhangers here.
Either we do kill the mayor, we plant this little piece of paper as if it's been left behind by accident, or we let her know about the plan and use this piece of paper as a means to show that we were kidnapped and taken here. It's the only way we could have gotten our hands on this, my boy.
Why don't you
Well,
both give me an
you
insight
tell
check?
I that they make terrible plans.
Give me
Yes.
insight rolls, please.
And there goes my dice.
And Evan, I'm going to give you advantage.
Sweet. Okay.
Just
So-
based off of the common knowledge. of this.
14 and 19.
Oh, okay, sweet. And Cole, what'd you get?
8.
An 8? Wow. Diesel's insight is that cows don't like murder unless they are skinny young wizards. You know, for some reason that has kind of been rolling around in your head as a thing since your murder in the tent city. It just feels right. It feels like a doctrine you can live by. And then Gus, when he thinks about both plans that he's kind of set forth, he thinks historically, right, about what's happened recently, which is this king has essentially brought peace to the entire continent for the most part, like overall. And if
I've lived long enough to see the days before.
Exactly. And so you know that this appointed person probably will do good, even with your drunk kind of lesser mind at this point, that it's probably smart not to kill this person. But,
My boy,
you
I
might
lived
still do
through
it.
the days, the dark days of deep unalliances, treasonous plots and plans, blood and death. This new king has brought at least a breath of peace. If we can...
That must be where all these bags come from. And
Yes.
He pushed the bags under the dwarf's eyes with his hands.
Yes.
The what?
The bags under his eyes.
Oh, okay. I think it meant
Yes,
like
boy.
cold bags. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yes, my boy. Times have been... It was the best of times, but it was the worst of times. And I would see those days in the past and stay in the past.
As ever, you are full of wisdom, wizard.
Thank you, my boy. And I say we, I mean, what do you think? Do you feel confident that we can pull this off?
I think we should go back in there and take Esther. But you're the one that makes the plans here.
Oh, my boy. This is a fellowship of the milk. I would like to know...
in my bottle.
In my bottle. And my loot.
And my pail. I was really just talking about like things that can gather milk, Evan. But
well, I could gather milk in the hole.
That's true. I'm sure you could put milk in your hole.
I would like to know, Beasels, before we did do that session, are you okay with attempting either of those two things? Because either one could backfire. However, Mike as a character, I feel slighted already. You know what I mean? I feel like we've been tricked, and from my experience, if any plan begins with deceit, then most likely the end is going to end in deceit as well.
Good rule.
These people can't be trusted.
Beasel's kind of in a similar situation, having being taken advantage of. He's kind of wanting revenge. However, all your plan talking is giving him a headache, and he started just walking out like this with his three claws.
I would like to kind of pick him up and just kind of like cradle him if I can, and just kind of slowly just kind of stroke his scales a little bit.
I'm sorry, it's the vertigo.
It's okay, my boy. We need some rest. We've been through a lot.
Okay, so what are you guys gonna do? You're still kind of on that pathway out of this plantation.
I would like to, if we could, head back to that tavern where we have friends,
okay,
and maybe get bandaged up, maybe a hot bath and a warm ale, and just kind of prepare for our meeting tomorrow. And I want to make sure that I safeguard that paper.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, is that out of the realms of possibility for us to execute as far as your storyline goes?
Absolutely not. That Kingsman's seal, right? That logo.
So it's like a signet ring you would dip in like wax and place on the
paper. It's more of like an ink, right? Like but
it would kind of tie at least him or the guards and implicate, if we can raise enough doubt, or at least show. I mean, just think about it this way.
Roll insight again for me. Roll insight.
It's only a 10.
Okay. Well, honestly, just knowing the history you already do about Kingsman, it's not a leap. I mean, the question is almost an immediate answer. That seal alone would give the mayor enough cause to send adjudicators in and arrest or kill all of those guys.
Well, and I was going to say that, like, if you think about it in like not so much like a fantasy story, and actually like a more of a realistic undertone, like there's only realistically like one way that him and I, short of like, for one thing, there's too many series of like circumstances that would have to line up for us to A, have that paper, B, why would we keep that paper? Like say if they tried to say, oh, they broke into my house, right? Well, the odds of us breaking into your house and then also trying to assassinate the mayor, it just, for pure and utter, the two events don't really align and make sense for motivation purposes. You know what I mean?
For what are we saying? To motivate you to do what?
Right. Wait. So for one thing, us just we've already kind of established at least a little bit in the town that we're just traveling performers. Yeah. You know what I mean? But so why would we specifically kind of show up to not only break in and enter into the captain of the guard's house, but also break in and enter and assassinate the mayor? You know what I mean?
Not only that, there is another angle. If he was supposed to stand guard and keep people out of the town, like suspicious people, we 100% bribed him to get in. So why did he let a little lizard guy in?
Well, he also didn't really know you were real because you instantly disappeared. But
I could see this, if things kind of work out, I could see us having almost a full episode of us being on trial. You know what I mean? That would be hilarious. I've never seen that in a D&D campaign.
You very well could. Here's the thing, though, is that seal, again, is incriminating enough for them to believe you, to be honest.
Because even if not believe,
Even if
cast a doubt
hold on,
their
hold on,
integrity.
hold on, Buckaroo Bob. Even if you broke in and did that, it wouldn't matter. They wouldn't. You wouldn't be
Oh,
prosecuted
so
for that.
you're
I,
saying
I,
that like they wouldn't, even if they thought we just randomly burglarized that house.
it would be like finding a terrorist cell. Do you think they would prosecute a burglar that broke into somebody's house if they discovered it was a large terrorist ring? The answer is no.
No, they'd name a highway after them.
Yeah. So they would
Yeah.
deputize you in a second. Plus, on top of that, no one's going to think you're affiliated with the Kingsmen because, catch this, you're not Dawnmen. They're only Dawnmen.
True.
You're a dwarf and some weird lizard creature. Okay.
And like as a like a personal character ambition way, it as a bard, it kind of behooves you in your nature to befriend and kind of have royalty in your pocket and a patron, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Sure. We'll hope
you're
and
not
pray
looking
for
out
that to happen.
Beasil at all.
Do what?
You're not looking out for Beasil at all.
I'm trying to save Beasil and Esther.
It
As
sounds like you're
best-
trying to line your pockets because you weren't really wanting to do
Listen,
the
hey.
job unless you got paid.
Hey, if lining my pockets is a side effect of me out of the kindness of my heart
I'm gonna
looking
say-
after my son.
I'm going to say this conversation is actually happening between Vertigo Out, Beasil, and Gus. You're justifying taking this job and why you wanted money.
Yeah, well, I mean, if money, favor, and fame comes as an unfortunate side effect of helping my son and my wife out of a hot spot, then I'm willing to do it. I will put myself in that realm, you know.
Well, how heroic of you.
I know, that's very noble.
How long does it take for us to get back to the tavern?
The tavern, you're probably talking like 20 minutes to 25 minutes.
I was going to say, I don't know if it's too short, but I probably do need to go ahead and cut just to go and get ready for work and stuff.
I was about to end, but thank you for adding something for me to edit, Evan. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, man. I just figured, you were getting to do that.
Can Beasil do one thing before we end?
Yeah, I told you I'm not going to edit out these goofy parts, so here we are.
At coming back into the tavern, can Beasil see the southern gentleman style elf and just walk up with tears and hug him around the waist?
Aw.
So let's fast forward this walk. You guys enter in. It's very, very late at night, and the elf sees you, and he says, "Oh, Basil, my friend, salutations. Come on over to me now."
I assume I have a bruise or something, right?
You got a red mark from getting slapped. It's not quick enough to bruise. Now, Beasil, do what you were made to do.
We lost Esther, and he just hugs the elf around the waist.
At his kneecaps, yeah. So he picks you up and he holds you and kind of pats your back. And that is where we're going to leave off from all the very fun little adventures we've had today. This has been Tales of Truja, Treasure of the Lost, Episode 3. And I am Dylan, or as some people say, we are Beasil.
Beasil.
George Clooney.